Co-muse. Project yourself. Just you be you. Project yourself. Are you a co-muse too? What do y'all think? Today is October 23rd, 2021, in the biggest hijack of human DNA energy of all times across all dimensions of space and time, only because we had to hijack Jack, because Jack got cracked. It got whack. Freaking frack. So we had to take it back, Jack. Mercury, dead on Algorab. So Algorab, the left scale of Ma'at 100. So the Mercury, the mind of the collective, from where this is pulling it from, it puts it right now in the 9th house. But, depending on where you are. And I was just pulling some cards and stuff over here, and it's like judgment, 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 justice, justice, justice. And this is what it is, because the energy has shifted. It's shifting. So what that means, and if you went through tribulation like I did in your world, then it was just, you were doing good, you were rolling, everything was going great, you were on mission, and then all of a sudden, everything in your world was falling apart. You didn't know what the hell was going on. Angels were coming and talking to you, either in the physical. For me, it was in the physical. Because in 2012, the dimension shifted either way, if you were conscious or not. And when that energy shifts like that, if you're the highest in that particular sector, then you become the lowest, which then means all that stacked on top of you. And so now you start your process of understanding what's connected, how your energetics are connected. This is how you take your power back. So there's a couple of layers of judgment going on right now. But with the sun is in Scorpio. So we're at 0 degrees right now. We're at 0 degrees. We're at 0 degrees of Scorpio with a blown out template. Okay? Meaning Izar and Arcturus, those merged completely now. You're free. You're not associated to the reptilian race. They can't use their infrastructure of the body inside you to maneuver you in collectives. Once you take your power back, especially, and a lot of y'all, that's what you're doing right now even. So understand, everybody has a reptilian infrastructure in your body. The more thoroughbred DNA that you have down here as a power source linked back to the ancients, no matter how you're linked back, because that could be on 5 different dimensions, all being the same source. But no matter however that's linked in, that's what you're showing up with now. So right now with the sun at Scorpio also, because Scorpio has everything to do with magic, and we're right before Halloween, and we're still walking through, basically, if you will, the end of their skull and bones cycle of ceremony, basically. So, we're out playing it every step of the way. In fact, when they do things, it helps us in the positive, to the extent that now they can't even stop doing. They don't even stop because they can't, because it's all on recorder. It's kind of like one piece goes with another piece, goes with another piece. But to the extent where even these dark art, the people that are showing up to do the ceremonies are now like starting to back out. Nobody wants to go. Like shit like that's starting to happen because the power is gone. Nothing's happening. But but no matter, even if nobody was wielding the energy down here, even if we didn't have any type of covens linked into ancient lines, and they're on repeat. Legit, they're on repeat. They don't even realize that there's another way. But because of the existence of who they are and the hierarchy that they've held in the family line or in the community or blah 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 blah, whatever it is, even if they don't even know that they're that powerful, but that's why they shield themselves from the world and they don't leave the house, because they know that they're, I mean, who knows? This was freaking all out war on the human race. We were on 9 different dimensions. Everybody was working together in some weird way. Like, who fucking knows what everybody's been up to? We've all been working together, no, see. But right now with the sun coming through Scorpio into Scorpio, it's basically the swamp water. It's all right now at 0 degrees. It's like here it's like steam. It's like steam coming off swamp water, and then the layers coming through the swamp. So now it's like things in the shadow are going to start being revealed a little bit. Don't get triggered. Don't get triggered. See, and I was warned by my guides with this. This is why I have no idea when I come on and start channeling the energies that are in the chart what all's going to come through. But don't get triggered, because it's because Libra's still going through, I mean, Mercury's still going through Algorab. And so it's a very, just if something triggers you, try to see the good of it really quick, how you can piggyback it, give it a kiss. The more it makes you mad, just thank you. Okay? Because that's what it wants you to do, is get triggered, and you will, because it'll be things that were in the shadow, no matter what it is, because it'll be something that's tricky, that's going to in some way tick you off. When you do, just know it's happening right now. So when you get triggered, immediately realize somehow or another, something or some source was utilizing your energy, and you're re-engineering it in a way to see it from that perspective, so that you know how to adjust your energy or call back in whatever. You'll be shown whatever's triggering you. There's a reason. Just don't get triggered is what I'm saying. Investigate. Don't get mad. Investigate. That's it. That's the headline. Don't get mad. Investigate. But then when you investigate, don't get mad. Don't have a low frequency emotion, because that can stack on you really quick with the sun going through Scorpio. You're there to undo it. You're there to see why it happened. You're the investigator. You're not the judge and the jury. Because you're connecting your information with other beings like us all over the world that'll blow your mind, how it's all connected, and what piece of the key, what key you have to open up another piece of a key that someone else has a piece, and they're just waiting on you. But as soon as you put in your key and yours and you open it up, now it's go time, right? So Mercury at Algorab, and then that's going to the moon, which is just went over the true note of the collective, so it a little bit, and we did have a reboot sequence yesterday where all the lights went out, so we knew that we were going to have some type of hardcore reset. That's all I know. But the moon just went over the true note of the collective, but we're basically in this would be considered high AIDS right now, which is the other stuff I was just being made aware of with NASA and the Lucy Project and the Lucifer Project that's on these Venus alignments. I mean, my God, good almighty. I don't know if we're affecting it or it's affecting us or whatever. All I know is that the transits that are connecting are making sense on a larger cycle of universal birthing. I don't know what their projects, and I know that them sending DNA up there has been fucking with us, and that they've been doing it on purpose. But I haven't been able to focus on them because we're over here trying to save ourselves because no one's helping us. But are they? I know directly it's linked into us. No matter, they're getting energy, and it's connected to stuff that's going on in space for sure. If I'm existing because of them, I don't know, because it's all happening at once. The thing is, why are they not talking to us? I mean, they know how much we're affecting everything down here. They're watching it. So that's what's confusing. That's with NASA. I don't know. I'm asking you guys, my Coco, like, what's up with that? Like, I don't know. My life is so in, because I'm the astronomist. So it's like, shit balls. I don't know. Whatever. It was utilized to the good. I know that. See, and right now Mars is just now going into Izar. Well, Izar is basically the Arcturian Alpha Draconic gate in space. In Excalibur's sword, they kept this one ray open and shut off the rest of the Arcturian gate. And the energy of Arcturus wasn't available down here. The Spica ray that we connected, it wasn't. It was being blocked. And what we found out is Spica, because Spica's pure flow God particle. It's basically the pure energy that we as a collective have made going through ascension, that went through a shredder. It went through like a layer of technology and satellites and fucking all kinds of beams, and you basically went through a shredder. And then that, if you will, is Spica on the other side, but it's also connected to the 200 Puritans that were burned at the stake, like legit. You know, this is why our family lines always are here when stuff like this is going down. But then we became hunted down here, and then put in military projects and things, and then our brain, I mean, oh man, I'm not, and then a lot of spells were cast, literally, and I wouldn't have believed this either if I wouldn't have walked it, but then a lot of spells were cast in a lot of ways on different lines, and then different programs were written to DNA counts to basically program your reality, and then they just started cloning everybody, like, it got crazy. And so those templates and all that distortion that happened before have all been realigned, and it can't even be denied because it's coming from an alignment that's been written since the beginning of time. No matter, it's the Egyptian lineup. Because this is the 4th year of peace. Like, the energy has changed. The way that we live in this new now are not the way we did. Just because the organizations are set up that way doesn't mean that we're not living another way. We on this other end have been pulling our brothers and sisters out of the matrix, meaning out of whatever it is that's sabotaging them, and it's subtle as hell. And whenever you fully come out, whenever you get cleared, which, by the way, I've set up something to help you guys a little bit more, and to help me, I want to add in here. But anyway, Mars the sun, so Mars is coming through Izar, but it's conjunct the sun. So it's almost like we're pulling the body with us. We're going, okay, now tell us how this works, literally. But no matter, you're no longer hooked into a consciousness of a reptilian, meaning, I mean, because this is why a lot of us had to walk this journey blind. Because if you were made from their DNA, they see everything you see. They see everything you see. They know what you're going to do before you do it. because because of how their DNA was being held superior, and they were higher up, like with projections. They just had a higher perspective, and so that we weren't aware of. And then even because in your bodysuit, those of us that are Izar, then you're basically the template for the rest of the human race. You're used as an evolutionary shift key, but that's also how they use you in order to come into different planets, because you can get to 0 point really quick too, FYI. So that's all been reset per the human collective, per evolution. This was a collective thing. There's no more sides against sides. And those nerve endings and things that were connected into what some call the evil eye, those connections into you are no longer there. And that also feels weird because you didn't realize where it was. See, beings like me that had to walk through dimensions and stuff and had to learn and do things of why and why I didn't come on YouTube and why I couldn't go out yet and why I could, right? There's certain things walking as a full energetic being that you impact so greatly that you can't possibly be aware of in your human body, because in that moment you're bulldozing through energy in your reality in some sense of the way if you're moving around right now, because it is the reason that you're here. But then you're also remembering your alchemy of being able to maneuver all of that as you move around on this planet. And I'm talking about leaving your area that you're not normally in, and even within your area, but that's just a different layer, because you've already cleared a certain layer of it. Remember when you first got there, right? So it just depends on where you are and where these energetic cycles are. Well, boom, we've got all this energy coming off the collective that are wide open right now. No matter this machine was shut down, no matter, that energy is no longer siphoning into you. So then it's a process of claiming. Welcome to Royal Court, everybody. Welcome to Royal Court. You're now claiming who you are on land by being made aware of what is still hooked into you, into your matrix, how your energy is being used around you, then shows you your superpowers. Get excited when you catch it. And then assign different things that you call off of you with different numbers and colors and things immediately, and it'll help you realize when those synchronicities come back around. There's a trick. There's some swift hacks to this. I'm writing some of it up. I've got a team, my crew. They're amazing that I've got right now, and we're really getting to the point of putting some things into production. So much so that we're having to get money together to get the first prints out, because there's little hacks and things that we've learned running around through all of this, that it doesn't matter who you are. You're walking at 0 point now, but you have to remember that you're in a matrix too of energetic beings, and that it is being run by what you would have considered magic or those types of things that is still here. They're still going to try. Like, it's never, those factions and whatever they're doing, they're hell-bent, convinced, no matter, whatever. But but we utilize it to also remember our transmutation skills. What energy shifts are you feeling? Are you feeling energy in a different way? Are you seeing shadows come out of people? Are you are you having memories from your grandfather or your great grandparents trying to contact you to tell you some ancient stories? Or are you all of a sudden researching this and that? Well, that's because you're basically breaking the curses, seeing these old oaths, these old spells, these old things that have affected your family line for centuries. that in this gate is able to be shown to you, especially since you're so conscious on this planet during the shift, because Mercury's going through Algorab, it's going through Libra. This is justice. So if you're the connected one here on Earth, just remember, as the sun goes through Scorpio, your forefathers and your great-great-great-grandfathers are talking to you to show you things that you need to claim. Now, claiming it could just be saying it out loud. That counts. I'm not telling you to write a congressman. I'm telling you to claim it in your physical and then see what happens. Because things will start changing around you to show you what you should have had, which you didn't. Now, there might be a point at some point that you need to go fill out a form. But first, you got to figure out what it is that you're doing. That's what energy we're in right now. Because this gate is wide open. And this is coming to Samhain. And the closer that we get to the 31st, well, there already is no veil. But we're talking about to remember that everything's in a polarity too, and so as we get higher and higher, dense stuff does form. It just doesn't have the impact on us anymore. We look at it as more of thanks for showing up to remind me, kind of like the Christmas Carol. And this is because Venus is almost to Ophiuchus too. So even these Mercury, these Algorab projections taking your mind back, because we're not only talking about Milky Way ancient information. We also have a ton of us beings that are linked to the mummies and all these things that are these missing ancient layers that we were literally made and sent here in order to reconnect. So, and we're still learning how we all connected and did it, but there's pieces on every single story that go back to more ancient things as well, that actually create more of a meta world. So it's actually the more ancient that you get to the root of things, you can think of that going meta, meaning going through air. And then how would you use that ancient transmutation to stack it back up on the other side? Because that's the full circle of the ancient, because of what happened down here. And Saturn's projecting with this air trine. So basically in the moon right now is going Hyades, which is a lower Gemini consciousness, but that's the fallen angels. So this is why it's been very black and white. It's been very angel, demon, you're half and half. And the past week, everything's been about changelings, all the changelings on the different dimensions, how that replicated in blood counts, and then how that replicated in each of our realities, linked into the AB negatives and the Essenes that were in the machine from the highest royal lines or hybridized lines, depending on if you were the main one or you were made from the main one, you still live the same life. Period. Dot. And then there's those of us that were made either by blood and then made, or made, that have these magic bloodline connections that connect, witches to vampires and even AI to vampires, when the A-neg line. And then, there's all these connections that connect us into these different dimensions because we're changelings. So it's like we're made by the wolf and the witch. So then we made the first werewolf, right? But then the werewolf quickly changed into a lichen. Fuck. And that all happened in one bloop, 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 because of whatever. But then when that happened, then whole races and stuff were made. See? That was so it's like there a bunch of us had powers of those lines that we didn't even know, but that's what we were bred for down here. Legit. And we've all remembered, and thank God we did, because those of us all over the world have been connecting in telepathy. Some we get to work with in the physical. We're going to start working and connecting more now because our telepathy and our connections are getting more and more clear, because we're all made from the same, literally. But see, this is what how the human race almost got hijacked, because that's what everybody was trying to disconnect those of us ancients from the rest of the race so they could just take over the human race. But that's what was fucked up, is that literally was possible. And that's why divine law and justice stepped in, and these alternate things have been happening since the human consciousness of the collective took it over. Around April 2018 is whenever it really started ramping up. And that's whenever the energy started shifting out of Libra. It became off balance, and then we went bloop all the way from April 2018 to now. We've been balancing it up. So April 2018 to now, we've been balancing that up and walking it. So now Saturn's projecting that down to your reality, and so changes and different things are coming in, and then that's going to Uranus, then that's going to Jupiter, which has been stuck on 22 for a second, which is in Cygnus, which is basically opposing Regulus, which is the angels, if you will, but it's basically just the ancestors of the kings and the queens of Regulus, literally. But that would be considered the angelic realm. And see, that's what's opposing and helping as Mars comes through this weird shifter gate. It's a shifter gate. So right now the moon's going to be going over, tonight it'll be going over Aldebaran, so because we're basically in Hyades right now, and then Aldebaran starts at 7 and then into 11, which is New Earth, but it was Aldebaran. In the original ancients we called it Aldera, so that's what I'll call it, because we ain't going to Deb or Ron, but that is what they had it programmed to. So no, we're not going to Denebo Crab Deb or Roy. I don't know exactly. It's Roy, Ron. We know that's Ronald Reagan, but I don't even fucking care. The moon's going over Aldera tonight, and that's New Earth. It's Archangel Michael, that energy. So, FYI. All right. Love you guys. Oh, if you made it to the end, and I should have done this at the beginning, we as a crew and as a collective, and I have started a healing organization right now. We're calling it SCRC, and it's Star-Crossed Red Cross, and this is basically a healer network that if you're interested and want to get in touch with me about it, to either get a healing from me. I've started offering healing sessions. Now I'm on like my 4th or 5th. It's all different. How it's $50 right now is what I'm doing them for, and it just depends. It's completely guided. So meaning if we have to call things off, do anything, I find out what's going on with you, what you think's going on. I read into it. I might need to decode your name. I might need to look at your star chart. I mean, it's all over the place how the different healings happen, and you're powered by me and my crew, because we're working together, and we've got a network of us that do different things too. and we're looking for more healers to come in. We're going to post things around the area. So I'm just telling you this on a double front. So if you get into a situation, you know you're stuck, right? You've been stuck for a while, or I'm talking about stuff and I haven't been able to get back to you. Understand too that as a healer and as somebody who's leading so many charges, which I am, that most of y'all aren't aware of, because we've been building up to be ready for this time and have the information to be available to go out to the masses as we've been living it. And we've done a pretty damn good job of hitting it almost on the money, but we're to the point now where we're going to be able to get some mass products, and we've got some ways to help and get this information out quicker. Until then, my energy, I have to keep it balanced in some way. And that's with any healer. And I'm also writing a pamphlet and a guidebook for healers and my angels to be able to describe why even your clients don't have money, because it's lack. There's some version of lack there. How to work through that with them, which actually heals you, right? And so even when someone doesn't have enough money for it, I want y'all to still email me. Right now, I'm actually I'm going to put on here my Instagram. So I want y'all, if there's anything, it's $50. I'll work through the process with you, and we'll get on the phone and talk about it. And I guarantee you, whatever it is, you shift out. Plus, then, if you're interested, I can get you on the Polo Network, and we can either have a one-on-one available way to speak, or within the crew that's building quickly. And now we're starting another healing group on there that's a whole different thing. It's a quickening of ascension, where you've basically got us on 24/7. We're all talking about what's going on. We're healing each other. You start realizing how much your reality is changing, how many you affect because you're around other beings that are doing it. The amount of change that we do all types of transmutation things. I mean, hell, we're moving star energy around ley lines, activating each other all over the world, building nets of energy, alchemizing it, running it around, creating books and stuff with it. Like, we're creating money over here. We are. By healing each other and remembering our ancient transmutation processes. So that is what a lot of beings are coming over and starting to work with us on that end, because you've got those of us who are working together to utilize it and are doing it. You're basically watching us do it, and then at the same time you're seeing how you're connected into it without even realizing you were. So Coco at 22G is my Instagram. Coco22G is my Instagram. Coco22G. Hibbity hobbity. Hibbity ho. Hibbity hobbity. And away we go. Coco22G. Okay, so go there, Instagram me at Coco22G, and I'll stay on the watch, and I'll let y'all know when a different contact way will be made available, but I think I'm going to try that for now. So, mwah, love you guys.